I said what I was playing, so let's go into television, where we start over with the
Yes.
sports corner.
Sports Corner.
Sports corner, and Daytona happened this past weekend and ended in a firing, blazing crash of glory in
Uh-oh.
overtime. And it was such a fiery, blazing crash of glory that Austin Cindric was leading in the final lap before he got crashed out, leading William Byron to win the Daytona 500.
But he looked so cute in that picture you sent me.
Oh, I know. It's so awesome.
I don't know
But
why
just
they let a Cyndaquil drive a NASCAR, but that's just, I don't
because he's on fire.
know.
But yeah, he was leading going into the final lap. He led most of the race and proving why he's my current favorite driver in NASCAR.
That would do it.
And right as coming towards the end, just someone in the back decided, nope, I'm not going to win. I'm getting boxed in. Let's cause chaos, and ended up hitting Mr. Cindric as he uh, just couldn't quite get over the line, leading Byron to zoom right by and take the checkered flag. Well,
Wow.
not the real checkered flag, it was a yellow flag, but because he was in the lead in overtime on the final lap, they technically award him. Otherwise, we have to do this all over again. And he did like 500 overtimes doing it that way. So, William Byron, you get the win, but you don't get the glory.
Yep.
Let's see here. Also, speaking of wins, all wins and no glory, the NBA had its All-Star game this past weekend. Steph Curry won his second All-Star MVP award. He is now the back-to-back Kobe Bryant MVP award winner, the only person to win the Kobe Bryant MVP award since they renamed it.
Right.
And since they did a little tournament instead of East versus West, Team Shaq's OGs won the All Star tournament because they were shooting threes and hit the 40 points faster. And then there's also some things with Kevin Hart just absolutely blasting the players while they were there, and no one was having fun of it. I was like, yeah, yes, shame Kevin Hart in front public. Please continue to do so.
Please do. Please shame him.
In the other All-Star game weekend, NHL will conclude tonight as of this recording with the USA versus Canada in the championship game of the Four Nations face. If you're watching the first time they played, you would have seen three fights in 9 minutes. And so many fisticuffs are expected in this championship game as well. Uh, because what's better than a geopolitical climate that's heating up on ice, where you have knives strapped to your feet and punching the opponent is acceptable.
Yeah. It's gonna blow up fast. That's exactly what it did.
I hope so. I hope it does it again. I'm looking forward to it. If anything, at least gets people more interested to watch than otherwise would be, which is more than I could say about
I guess
the
so.
NBA All Star Game.
Yes.
In other professional sports, MLB spring training began today, and your defending World Series champions, Los Angeles Dodgers, have come out swinging and whiffing as they lost to the Chicago Cubs 12-4 in an absolute trouncing in Cactus League's returning, of course.
Yeah, yeah. Important to remember here, if you don't watch baseball, spring training scores don't matter. It's basically an excuse for practice. It's basically an excuse for these batters to get out and swing at real balls, pitchers to actually pitch to batters. People do some live fielding that without doing it just against their own team. Like it, don't actually take to heart too much the performance of your favorite teams here. Like it's really this is an elaborate form of an exhibition game.
Yes.
What I will say though is that this go on.
I'll say it. Yeah, this is it's training league. This is
Yeah.
for the professional players to shake off the off-season rust, and for new players and specifically all the rookies coming in to gain some of that free MLB experience.
Yeah, and hopefully get us placed on the roster, which is another
Yes.
big thing for those some of those on the bubble players.
Yep. That's what everyone's trying to do is make that it's not a 52 man roster.
No, it's 40.
It's 40-man roster.
The
Yes.
40 man. Though there's one nice extra bonus for this spring training. There's an experiment happening, and it's happening with balls and strikes. So anybody who was paying attention to the minor leagues last season already knows about the ASB, I believe is what it's called, which is automated strikes and balls. And basically what that is, it's that rumored robo ump that was talk of the town over the last few years, except in a modified form. So basically, what it is a camera that is tracking balls and strikes as they cross home plate, specifically the middle of home plate. That's important. I'll get back to that in a second. But basically, instead of that being the all end all be all arbiter of balls and strikes calls, instead, what they're trying here in spring training is a challenge system for balls and strikes. The camera is always running, but it is up to the players, specifically the pitcher, the batter, or the catcher, to call a challenge on the ump's call right after it takes place. So each team is issued 2 challenges to start. And once that challenge is used, they go to the camera. The camera plays an animation that everybody can see, whether on the telecast or on the Jumbotron in the stadium, and shows what the robot saw, whether it was indeed a strike or a ball. Then if the challenge, like basically if the challenge is over, like if the challenge overturns the call, that is a successful challenge and the team gets to keep that challenge. So theoretically, if you keep making accurate challenges, you never lose your 2 challenges. But if you challenge and it turns out you were wrong, that you shouldn't have challenged the call, you lose that challenge and you only have the 2 the entire game. That's different from the minor league rule last year. They had 3 challenges. This is down from 3 to 2. So this will just be an experiment for spring training. In practice, it seems like players and coaches are a little ambivalent about it. They're still trying to figure out whether this is something they really enjoy or not. However, the minor leagues loved it, apparently, like raving reviews about this thing, and like fans liked it too. So maybe by the end of spring training, we'll have an idea about whether the big leaguers feel comfortable with it or not. Real quick, last thing I want to say about it is about that strike zone. So when you see it on the television, that little box on the TV broadcast, that's the front of the plate. That's not being, that's basically an estimate of where the ball is crossing the plane of in front of home base. This works differently. They've moved that plane to the middle, closer to where the batter stands. The idea being that it's actually a 3D cube more than it is a flat plane, and they want to treat it that way. So they're brought it in closer just because of that. There's also concern about the height of it. It's a standardized height for this thing. You're probably thinking, but isn't there a wild variation of heights going on? And what about batting stances? What about Anthony Rendon sitting back like he's on a lounger? That means he's a little shorter in stature in his stance than other players. Well, the league is aware of this. Apparently, the official word from the people who created this is that they crunched the numbers and they don't think that there is enough of variance in both player heights and batting stances to adapt it every time. So they just settled on one size fits all.
You know what this means? Bring out the squatting batter.
Yeah, maybe this is what brings weird stances back. Like that would be quite a
Yeah, like for
curveball.
like the
No pun intended.
1940s, 1930s, just the squatting
Right,
stances, the
yeah.
lean back stances,
So we'll see what happens with that.
the
But yeah,
Aaron Judge 7 foot get on my tippy toe stance.
yeah. So this will be the experiment. I saw it used once in the Dodgers game this morning, and it was pretty quick. It was pretty much just like ball comes in to Max Muncy. The catcher doesn't like the call, immediately hits the challenge, ended up being overturned. It was a strike, not a ball, and they got to keep it. It just boom, boom, boom. And that's the idea. It's supposed to not slow down it doesn't slow down the game in any way, like the postseason challenges did, or the other kinds of challenges we see in the modern version of the game.
Mhm.
It's very much just they don't need to ask New York for this one. It's just the camera is there and it tells you immediately. So the feedback loop is more or less instantaneous. So yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a good idea overall, and it does put more control over those major game-changing ball and strikes calls that people yell at their screen about. It's only a matter of time, I'm sure, until this makes it to the proper regular season.
Right, where the Astros will start banging trash cans if they immediately think, "Hey, that was a bad call."
Right, right. Or sabotage the robot somehow.
That was a
Anyways.
wild pitch. Wait, no, that was an accurate pitch to the robot.
How like his eyes are just wait, that definitely was way over there.
It's just a bit outside.
Anyway.
But yeah, at least like one thing I'm like, yes, we'll get the right call with the review, but that does mean that we don't get the batter yelling at the umpire, kicking dirt on him, and
Yeah.
possibly getting thrown out from it. Like he's like, no, you're wrong. Give me that robot.
Right. You don't have the manager coming out from the dugout and like being pissed as much as you used to.
Yes, no more throwing chairs, throwing seeds, taking a base and running away with it.
Yeah. I'm sure there'll be other things that can rile up your players, but balls and strikes hopefully will not be one of them. But again, this will not be in the regular season. So this ends at the end of spring. So you'll be
Oh,
back to
it's gonna go to the regular season.
next year, probably not this year. They already said confirmed not in the 2025 regular season.
Yeah, but they also said that about was it pitch clock or was it the uh batting? It was Ghost Runner.
Ghost Runner. But oh
Yes.
yeah, that's supposed to be gone this year, right? I'm
Yep.
pretty sure.
Yep.
Oh, thank God. Thank the heavens. No more Ghost Runner.
Yep. Bye bye Ghost Runner.
But anyway, so yeah, spring training, it started today. It's gonna happen. Your favorite team will be playing soon. Tune in. Yeah,
Well,
brief follow-up from last week. The Diamond Sports Group stuff is up. So if you
yes.
go on to their app, you can pick your region, and baseball teams are on the a la carte now. So I have
Yes.
done that.
That's what I was gonna bring up because I saw that the Angels and the Kings were on the
Yes.
same package
So
for $20 a
you
month. And I'm like,
you only have to pay
yes,
twenty
they
dollars for
did
both
it.
of them.
They
Yes,
finally did
they
it.
did it.
I get to watch the back half of hockey and the first half of baseball.
Yep, there you go.
Because that's about when the Angels will just woo, dive off.
Well, there you go. All right,
All right,
that's baseball.
that's baseball. But we still have college players to talk about. So
Yes.
those college players who have yet to graduate, because it's not spring yet, from football, the D League, will be going to the NFL Scouting Combine next week, starting on the 27th through March 2nd. This means we can see if anyone can run faster than Xavier Worthy in the 40-yard dash. This also means we get to see all the fantastic football names as they try to make a name for themselves.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, there's no like I haven't heard of any like macho players who are going to like skip out on the scouting combine. So unlike last year where we had like Caleb Williams who was like, I don't need to do this. I'm not going to be the first round pick. I don't need to go out and show off for people.
Right.
I don't think we have anyone like that. Maybe Travis Hunter, maybe Shadur Sanders. That's only because Deion Sanders just like being his coach, manager, dad, triple slash threat
Right.
for both of them. But yeah, scouting is next week. And just around the corner as we come to the end of February. It's that time of year again where you get really mad and turn big and red. And I swear we'll get to Captain America soon, but March Madness is around the corner. Selection Sunday is less than a month away on the 16th. But that does mean that here at the Media Boat Podcast, it's March Madness tournament.
We will have a conversation about that after this podcast is over.
Oh, yes, we will.
Time permitting is what I will say.
Oh,
Time
yes.
permitting.
Lots of time permitting. All right.
Anyway.
But that's it for television.
Yep. That's it for sports. So that means we move on to television news proper. So it's not it for television, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yes, that's it for sports.